I hope you've had a good day today. Ah, dear. So, I hope you're ready for your bedtime story. I've got a good one for you today. I thought I'd do you one from Animal Stories. And it's called When the Donkey Sneezed. So, I hope you're ready for this. And I love you loads. So, sit back and snuggle down and get ready for Nana's bedtime story. Okay? Neddy the donkey stood and looked at the cloudy sky. The sun had gone in a long time ago, and the clouds were big and black. Suddenly, Neddy felt a sneeze coming. It was a great big sneeze, and he shut his eyes and he opened his mouth. A tissue! A tissue! He sneezed very loudly indeed. This is the way that donkeys always sneeze, you know. A tissue! When the sneeze was finished, Neddy opened his eyes again. And just at that very moment, an enormous wind blew up. My goodness me, it was a wind. The clouds shot across the sky in no time, and the trees went wish, wish, wish all together as their hundreds of leaves brushed against one another, and the flag on the church tower waved like mad. Well, look at that, said Neddy the donkey, astonished and proud. That's what my sneeze has done. Made this enormous wind. Would you believe it? I'm a very clever donkey, I am. Neddy didn't know that the wind had nothing to do with his sneeze. He really and truly thought that, because he had sneezed such a big sneeze, he had made the wind come all by himself. He was as pleased as could be. He straightened up his ears, flicked his tail around, and galloped over to where the ducks were waddling off on the pond. The wind had made such big waves there that they were afraid and were hurrying off to the water. They were hurrying off the water. Neddy brayed loudly and spoke to them. Hee-haw! Do you know I sneezed just now and made the big wind come that is blowing waves on your pond? Whack, said the ducks together. Then we think you're very silly. Tell the wind to stop. But Neddy didn't stop to listen. He ran off to the hens, who were all huddled under a hedge out of the gale. Hee-haw! Do you know I sneezed just now and made the big wind come that is blowing all your feathers the wrong way? Cluck, said the biggest brown hen angrily. What a silly thing to do. Tell the wind to stop. Neddy hee-hawed loudly and laughed. He was very proud of having made the wind come because of his big sneeze. No, he said, I shan't make the wind stop. I think it's a grand wind. Cock-a-doodle-doo, said the big cock crossly. You are stupid, Neddy. Look at my tail. It's almost blown off. But Neddy kicked up his heels and scampered away to the pigsty, where Mrs. Sow and all her little pigs were crouching down in the one corner trying to keep out of the wind. Hee-haw! Do you know I sneezed just now and made the big wind come that is blowing all the straw around your sty? Grunt, said Mrs. Sow, very annoyed. Well, tell you to stop, you silly donkey. Nobody likes a wind like this. Oh, I shan't tell it to stop, said Neddy. It's my wind, and it's a very nice wind too. Ho, ho, I'm a clever donkey, I am. Off he went again and galloped to the two brown horses that stood trying to shelter themselves under the tree. Their manes were blown right up in the wind, and they shivered. Hee-haw! Do you know I sneezed just now and made the big wind come that is blowing your manes about? Said Neddy proudly. What a silly thing to do on a cold day like this, said the horses, neighing. Who wants a wind like this time of year? Make it stop at once. Not I, laughed Nelly, and trotted away to Tibbles the farmyard cat, who was hiding under a bush, very much afraid of the stormy wind that was blowing her whiskers backwards. Hee-haw! Do you know I sneezed just now and made the big wind come that is blowing your fur flat? Said Neddy proudly. Well, that's nothing to be proud of, Tibbles said crossly. I was just drinking some milk out of my saucer in the kitchen, on the kitchen step, and when the wind came it took hold of my saucer and tipped it up. Over went my milk and I lost my breakfast. Tell the wind to stop at once. Not I, laughed Nelly, pleased to think that so many things had happened because of his big sneeze. Ha ha, what fun I'm having. Well, all that day the wind blew, and what a nuisance it was. The flag blew right off the church tower, the big ash tree had a branch broken off, and the pond was so rough that not even the biggest duck dared to swim in it, and it was really dangerous to cross the farmyard because there were so many things blowing about on it. The little chick got quite cross in a big newspaper that suddenly blew over it, and its mother was very upset to hear it cheeping underneath. Already it was a dreadful day. When tea time came, all the farmyard animals met together and talked. Neddy the donkey must be made to stop this wind, said the brown horse. We will tell him that if he doesn't sneeze again and stop it, we will put his tail pull his tail hard, very, very hard indeed, said the biggest duck. Let's go and find him, said the cat. So off they went and found Neddy standing in the middle of the field, still feeling proud of his big wind, but shivering with cold. Neddy, you must stop this wind, or we'll all pull your tail hard, said Mrs. Sow, grunting. I don't know how to stop it, said the donkey, rather frightened. Well, you started it with your sneeze, so I suppose you can stop it with a sneeze, said the cock. We will all stand round you in a ring, and when we say go, you must sneeze. Are you ready? All the animals and birds stood in a ring around the donkey, and the cock said, 1, 2, 3, go! They all listened for Neddy's sneeze, but he couldn't. You simply can't sneeze on purpose, can you? And no more could the donkey. He shut his eyes and opened his mouth ready for the good sneeze, but it wasn't a bit of good. It wouldn't come. And at last he shut his mouth and looked at the creatures around him. I can't sneeze, please, he said in a very little voice. Nonsense, said the cock. If you don't, we shall pull your tail. But still Neddy couldn't sneeze. So one by one, all the animals and birds pulled his tail. And you should have heard him bray. He was so upset. While they were doing this, the wind gradually dropped. Soon there was none at all, and the trees stood quite still and quiet. Nobody noticed that the wind had gone, and one by one all the animals and birds went home, leaving the poor donkey alone in the middle of his field. It serves me right for being so proud, he thought. But dear me, look at this. The wind has gone. Now what could have made it go? I didn't sneeze. Was it because I had my tail pulled that the wind stopped? Oh dear, if it was, I'm afraid that all the animals will come and pull it again whenever they want the wind to stop. I couldn't bear that, so I'll pack up my things and go far away where nobody knows about my sneeze. So he packed up a few things and he had galloped right away. Where he went, nobody knows, but I expect he's very careful about his sneezing, don't you? Oh, it wasn't the donkey's sneeze that made the wind blow, was it? It was just a coincidence. Poor donkey. He was naughty, though, going round telling everybody, wasn't he, and bragging about it. Oh, I feel sorry for that donkey. Well, I hope you enjoyed that story, and I shall read you another one tomorrow. So have a lovely, lovely sleep, and I will see you tomorrow. So night, night, Ruby and Max. I love you, love you, love you. And night, night, Atty and Torben. I love you, love you, love you. You be good, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.